All right, good morning, Illuvium community. How are we doing here today? We had quite the weekend, why didn't we here? The IPL, it's over. We have a champion here. The Illuvium Pro League, of course, our very first champion is Narkesh. And of course, big shout outs to everybody that did make it all the way into the finals. And that was just an absolutely incredible wrap up there to the season. But of course, welcome to the channel. My name's Silent. If you're the first time joining me here, of course, I've been doing a lot of commentary for the Illuvium Pro League, and then just kind of doing a lot of coverage on Illuvium as a whole over the last little bit. Without talking about any of the crypto side of things, I don't care. I'm just talking strictly about gameplay itself and the news surrounding it. And then, of course, we have ourselves a little bit of a show today. Of course, very quickly take a look at our full top 8 results of the Illuvium Pro League and kind of just give my thoughts of the whole process as someone who's been able to thankfully cast the Illuvium Pro League since week number 2. After that, we're going to hop into an Illuvium Overworld run. I am still looking for Malura, but I'm also looking for a bunch of other Illuvials to start trying to make some suit skins. Snagged an eyelash in my eye, apparently. There we go. But yeah, snake some Illuvial skins. Going to be doing a stage 1 run in a little bit. And we'll see. If I could manage to find a Malura, I would be absolutely ecstatic. After that, we're going to hop into some Marina Ranked and see if I can keep pushing. I hit myself a personal best. I made it all the way into, I believe, the top 60 on the player leaderboards. Let's see if maybe we can push that a little bit higher by the end of the stream. Or do a crumble under the pressure of playing on stream and fall a little bit. Either way, we'll have some fun. And of course, after that, we will be going into our Illuvium Zero cooldown lap, where get my chores done in regards to Illuvium Zero, gather all my fuel, but then, of course, the big thing that I'm looking for is Tier 4 Biodata. I had a fantastic little session right after the IPL, actually. I don't know what it is about whenever I take a look at my plots right after an Illuvium Pro League broadcast. For whatever reason, it does seem to get me some good luck. I found both of these guys here just right after the stream. Found both the Geyser as well as the Mamu. So that was 2 tier 4s off the list, or checked off the list rather. And that means we only have about 4 more to go before I now just need tier 5s, which is going to be rather expensive to try and upgrade all of those scanners, but it'll be well worth it in the end, in the long run, especially for when the next set inevitably one day comes on out. But again, in terms of the Illuvium Pro League, let's take a look at that. Of course, we did conclude the Illuvium Pro League in the grand finals there yesterday. And like I had touched on prior, Narkesh is your very first champion here. And I love the fact that this was a checkmate format, because it made it so crazy competitive into those final games. Of the 8 players that were in the grand final, 6 of them could have won the entire championship in the last game. Unfortunately, there for Fancy Pants and for Unhappy, they were the only ones not able to quite get there. But everybody else was in contention. It was absolutely crazy. Coming on down to, I believe it was basically a 3-way battle. It was between, I believe, Fox, Narkesh, and Slicks. And that was extremely exciting to watch there. It looked like Fox Spirit had a build that was just able to completely out-sustain all of the damage. Narkesh had rogues, and I believe Slicks had some sort of later-based comp. I'd have to go back to the replay to get the 100% accurate there for Slicks' team, but it was close. I was very, very surprised. The battle that happened off-screen ended up taking out Fox Spirit, leaving it to a one-on-one last battle win scenario where Narkesh was absolutely able to crush it. Slicks called it out in the interview. He just got outmaneuvered and was taken down. But still, of course, congrats to Narkesh, but congrats to all of our players in the top 8 on a season well done. I know personally, it's awesome to see Slicks back up there. They had a very, very strong run in the early stages of the Illuvium Pro League, but then kind of had a bit of a fall off after the Great Monarch incident. Basically, I think it was the third IPL where a bug happened to cause the Monarch's carpet bomb to do way more damage than it was supposed to, and it cost Slicks a tournament. Right after that, Slicks went on a gigantic, not losing streak, but we didn't really see them in the grand finals for a long, long time. Only then showing up here in the last little bit of the season with multiple good finishes, and then a fantastic finish here in second in the grand finals. So good on Slicks to get themselves back up there. There was honestly a little bit of a similar scenario here with Narkesh right off the rip. Like when they moved over from TFT and joined us in Illuvium, they were doing like rather strong. A couple patches though came out, and I guess they weren't quite able to find themselves in very many finals. We'd see them in basically every IPL they competed in, but it was always in like the semifinals or something that they would get knocked out. But what a way to come on back here with this championship victory though. Then of course Slooper, I mean, this was kind of what started the whole storyline of TFT players coming in and starting to dominate Illuvium. Slooper and the rest of the guild mates there on Team Guild were really putting the hurt on for that mid to late portion of the season. Slooper ended up getting a win, Selfless got a win, and then one other player, I believe, got either a win or a second place. But for a while there, it looked like Guild was starting to dominate. And the coach, the TFT coach, Slooper, are going to be taking third in this one. Unfortunately, the last game did not quite go into their favor, but they were still able to get third. And one thing I want to mention, when we did the interviews with all of these players, talking about prize money, they were absolutely ecstatic. They were talking about, like, these are people who've gone to Esports World Cup, for example, and TFT Championships. And I think they said or Narkesh said, I think the highest they got before was like 7,000. They're walking home today, or they walked home yesterday with $50,000. So, Illuvium, very generous prize pool, and I'm sure it's absolutely life-changing money there for basically all of our players here in this top 8. Going through the rest of course, Fox Spirit, another one of those players that's been around for such a long time and has, especially early on, was placing very, very consistently into finals over and over again. But, and I mean, very, very similar. Midsection of the season was doing all right. We would see them in semis, but there were some IPLs where we would see them fall out of the quarterfinals. And even at worst, I think one or two times from the round of 64, but making it into our grand finals here, getting fourth. Good to see the veteran getting up there. Same thing here with Detective Alan A. If anything, I feel like we didn't really see them much in the early stages, but in the later stages, we absolutely did start to see them in more finals. While they may not have won any of the IPL events, they are always up there. I believe they gotten onto the podium maybe 2-3 times as well. And I know, like, Detective Alan A has been grinding out community tournaments as well. Like, I know they're competing pretty consistently in Dreamers stuff, for example. And any tournament that comes up, you can basically expect to see Detective Alan A there. And I'm very, very happy to see that the grind's kind of paying off for them here, getting 5th and $6,000 for their prizing. Selfless, one of those players as well from the guild side of things, made the transition over from TFT and was able to, I believe, get one IPL win near the later stages of the season. I think it might have been either a 250 or a 500. And then, honestly, early in this tournament, it kind of looked like they were going to run away with things. In the grand finals, I believe games 1 and 2, they did end up either winning or getting second place in. They were on quite the run. It looked like they were going to be unstoppable, but then unfortunately just kind of fell off a cliff going into game 3 and 4. And unfortunately was not able to recover, but they did at least get themselves in within check. But the last game, unfortunately, did not quite go in their favor either. But still, good to see Selfless, who's still rather new, I feel like, to the competitive side of things here with Illuvium. Still makes 6 in the World Championship. That's a hell of a run. Nicely done there, Selfless. Fancy Pants, similar to Detective Alan A. Detective Alan A might have been here a little bit longer, but Fancy Pants another one of those community tournament grinders, always seeing them, always competing up against them, and constantly being at the top of, or near the top of the ranked leaderboard as well, putting in the absolute volume of matches and practices to be able to get as good as possible. And I'm glad to see here for Fancy Pants that they were able to get quite the payout. 4,000 for 7th. Not too bad. I'm sure they're still kicking themselves wishing they had a little bit more, but that's still a fantastic season. Well done, Fancy Pants. And of course, well done to Unhappy, the absolute underdog in this grand final. We've seen them in grand finals for IPL before, but majority of the time they were kind of like the top 32, top 16 kind of player. Throughout majority of the season, yes, we would see them in finals, but they wouldn't necessarily win a finals. Sometimes they might have podiumed once or twice, but they wouldn't necessarily be a threat for the win. All of a sudden, from being a mid-tournament kind of player to being in the grand finals of the World Championship, absolute incredible run there from Unhappy. Unfortunately, the games didn't necessarily go into their favor, but just making it this far is netting you a $3,000 payday, and still a run that you can absolutely be proud of. And I'm definitely very proud of Unhappy as well. They were my pick to take the thing. You know, I love chaos. I would have absolutely loved to see the upset, but just making it this far was incredible in your own right. Congrats there to Unhappy. But of course, with that, that is the grand finals in the Illuvium Pro League. It's over. There is no announcement in regards to anything about Season 2. And we don't know anything in regards to any other tournaments for the near future. So things are going to be a little bit quiet, I imagine, on the competitive front. Unless an announcement comes out of nowhere and surprises me. Of course, again, I may do a lot of Illuvium coverage, but I am not actually an Illuvium staff member by any means. I was kind of like a third-party caster going on in, or a contractor of sorts, basically being onto Illuvium's broadcast, but I am not internal. I do not have any sort of insider knowledge about what the next future plans are, what's the next announcement. I could only go off of the same kind of speculation that all of yous can go off of, based off of X posts, Discord posts, and town halls, which, if I recall correctly, I believe there's going to be a town hall coming up next week. So some news might be around the corner. Definitely love to see some sort of positivity, of course, to follow up after a fantastic final. And of course, I know we're all anxiously waiting on MMO news as well. But even if things get a little bit quiet, even if there isn't necessarily no grand old crazy announcement, you can expect that I'll still be here. I still have a collection to build, I still have a rank to push, and I still have biodata and lands to operate, collect, and work on. I am having an absolute blast here still with Illuvium. Still just absolutely believe here in the game. And at the end of the day, I always wanted a game kind of like Pokemon, where I can take them and use my creatures into different kinds of games. And I love the fact that the cooperative nature of all three games working together, can use them all basically together, is the kind of thing that I always wanted. So I'm still going to be pushing. I'm not just jumping ship now that Illuvium Pro League is over. I'm not going to go play another game on stream and start like playing around with that and then coming back when the MMO comes back. No, I will still be around, and I'm still going to be doing multiple streams every single week. I've gotten into the habit as well about getting a actual stream schedule out now, so you'll have a better idea of when I'm going live as well. Monday, Wednesday is still going to be my plan, with the occasional Friday if I have the availability. So I'll try to have those schedules out every Saturday, so you know, or every Friday, so you know what I'm getting into. And then, of course, if any sort of one-off tournaments happen to come out, I'm definitely interested in casting that. Leviathan or Gauntlet does not matter. I'm still all here. I'm still enjoying my time with Illuvium. I'm still loving the community. Loving the game, loving the community, and not going anywhere. So with that in mind, we've got some Illuvios to hunt, why don't we? Alrighty. Get situated here in just a second. I'm going to double check. Do I need shards? I remember I was kind of running low the last time we did a collection or did a run. Why do I always forget where it is? Shards. There we go. Okay, I have no fragments, but yeah. I've got a bunch of tier 3 and 4 shards now. And then, of course, I look at the Resplendent shard, and I remember the forest that we had in the last one. Still sad that we ended up losing that. And one thing that maybe we'll do in the future, you may see my fuel count in the top right. It's a lot larger than it was before. Because during last Thursday, or no, it was at the end of last Wednesday for me, we made a decent push on stream to be right on the outside of the top 100 for the Illuvium Overworld rankings. And when I got home after picking up the kids from school, I did one more push. I had probably about an hour or so, just grind out as many alluvial catches that I could. And I think I made like 81st or something on the Overworld's rankings. And then like somewhere in the top 100 for the arena rankings. So I actually got a ton of fuel now. Or I say a ton, it would be basically one stage 3 run. But by having that much fuel, maybe doing something like a tier 2 run could be something we do in the future. Okay, Riley is one that I absolutely need for skins. TB Ruko I might check just for the sake of statistics. Oh, a flare! Okay. Definitely going to be taking a look at that. Exalted Apon we'll definitely take a look at here as well. Hollow Chikoro, I'll gladly take a peek and see how that one is. A TB Ruko potentially. A Hollow T-Ru potentially. Sephoris, I'll gladly take a look at you. A Furiox, that would be my first ever. Okay, we definitely have to take a look at that one. Chakondi is here as well. Another Hollow T-Ru. Take a look at this bunch right behind me here. Random Kuka in the desert. Okay, so we have 2 tier 4s in a stage 1 run here, including this evolved Furiox. That is priority number 1. I do not own a Furiox. I would absolutely love to be able to get it. I'd also absolutely love to be able to actually learn the damn layout of Crimson Wastes. Ay, ay, ay. This is the way, right? Yeah. Right? Nope, I just ran into a wall again. Oh my goodness, we're starting things off the right way, aren't we? Go home, Silent, you're drunk. Let's try this again. There we go, sorry about that. No Chikoro, we'll let you be, don't worry. Yes, looking for a Furiox. I'm so surprised. Again, finding one tier 4 in a stage 1 run is hard to come by, let alone finding 2, let alone also finding the middle stage evolution. Or the stage 2 version of it. Okay, let's place our teleporter there. There it is, actually. Potentially the first time ever that I can catch a Furiox. Let's try and lock this thing down. Just what does it have for backup and how much credits do I have to spend to actually take it down? would be a fantastic addition here if we can land this thing. Double checking my checklist right now to see if I do actually, in fact, not own a Furiox. Nope, I can confirm. This would be my first if we can get there, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. Let's get this thing, let's get it locked down. It doesn't have much in regards to backup. If I can just dive bomb this thing quickly. Get Riplance involved, get Karadulo involved. This would give me 2 shots at it. Alright. Let's get it. Thankfully, it's rather squishy, so actually taking it out isn't the problem. It's this catching part that makes me nervous. This little root cub is trolling me here. There we go. Toxic Squad doing what they need to do. Going to quickly take a look at the stats of these other two. Nothing to write home about. And this Furiox, pretty decent all around. It's just lacking some resistances, which is definitely a little heartbreaking. But still, for a first Furiox, this would be incredible. Now, how about it, though? If I use a Tier 4 Shard, that's a 24% chance to catch. If I do a Tier 5, what is it? It's 75. I am torn as to what to end up go for here. I don't want to be over... It's my first one. I have to. This might not necessarily be worth it, but this is my first Furiox. I do want this thing. I do not want it running away. I am scarred from what the Forest did in the last stream. Want this beautiful fire snake. Just get into there the first time. There we go. Our very first Furiox is here. Let's go. Max out on Omega power. And then some decent attack speed, and honestly pretty decent health as well. The only thing that really sucks is its resistances. But I mean, Furiox, it's basically meant to be the glass cannon anyway, so I am very, very happy to pick this guy up. Let's go. Might have to start leveling that thing up. I would absolutely love to be able to use that in the Overworld or in the MMO eventually. I know healing and support is my main way of playing, but I would absolutely love to be able to say in between healing rounds, everybody's feeling healthy in a DPS check kind of scenario. I would love to have a Furiox, or maybe even eventually a Scoriox, that I can just drop down for some additional DPS. Right next door to this Furiox was a Chicondi. With it being a fully evolved Illuvial, I definitely want to take a peek. Of course, the rogue portion of the Wildfire squad. I do love me with some Wildfire as well. Granted, trying to squeeze Chicondi into the Wildfire teams, especially in Arena, is rather difficult right now. So while the rest of the Wildfires tend to love the group up, Chicondi dives at you. Let's see. Let's get ourselves equipped. One, 2, 3, and go. One Chuko isn't anything to really write home about. That's not too bad of a little Chuko, actually, there. How about... Oh, Chicondi! Look at this guy! That's not bad! That's not bad at all! I'm glad we checked. I'm absolutely going to catch this one. Not bad at all, and I have 2 shots, right? Yeah, 2 shots. Gonna use up my tier 2 shards. I know sometime in the near future I'm gonna have to spend a run or two just shooting rocks, just loading up on shards again. But I won't bore you with that here on stream. It's all about the catching and the collection here. Here we go. Chicondi, fully evolved Illuvial. Maxed out on health and resistances. nearly maxed on attack speed and attack damage, and not too bad in regards to Omega power as well. And the fact that it has low movement speed, that's fine. I don't care. As long as I'm actually positioning it properly, I can make up for that. So that is actually, I think, a fighting fit Chicondi. Let's freaking go. That's a great start to the day. Absolutely loving it. Definitely needed some good news here this morning. Always love to have it. Of course, with the IPL being done, a big portion of my week basically is no longer a thing. And definitely going to be missing it. Tota, hello, how's it going? Let's hop on over. We do have Seaforus right around the corner here. Probably right alongside the fossilization. When's IPL Season 2? I wish I knew. I wish I knew. Again, I might be casting with Illuvium, but I am not internal. I know absolutely nothing. I'm not a staff member. So your guess is as good as mine. I could speculate, but I would imagine it's going to be a while. Because a trap that a lot of esports, I feel like, fall into is that they don't actually give their players a proper off-season. And a lot of times, if one TO, for example, all of a sudden decides, oh, we're going to have an off-season, another set of tournament organizers comes in, swoops in, and doesn't give the players any break. They see it as a way to kind of capitalize. But I don't see that happening with Illuvium because we are, like, rather small. Like, we're still going to have community tournaments, but I don't see, like, another big league, for example, showing up here that's not Illuvium sponsored, or not sponsored, but Illuvium operated. And I'd imagine they're probably having a bit of a break here. Farming the battle pass, 5 points to go. You're right there. Very nice. Go get them. Be looking for the Seaforus this time by. So far, so good in regards to our Illuvials. We just found a Furiox. Again, my first Furiox. Finally got one. Not too bad stat-wise as well. Probably an 80-85% in terms of effectiveness. See what else we've got here. That is actually an incredible little Atlas. And heck, even the Seaforus. I hate that it has no Omega power, but I mean, at least it's tanky. My goodness. Yeah, like I imagine, say for example, if I were to purely speculate, a lot of the hype right now is kind of focused around the MMO. I imagine it would be really, really stupid to have the MMO hype happening at the same time as another IPL, given the amount of coordination work that would take from a large team, and Illuvium is not necessarily a large team. That would be very, very tough to do, in my opinion. So I would imagine if, let's say, the end of this year and the first half of next year is all focused on MMO, maybe going into the summertime of 2026, could there potentially maybe be IPL Season 2. Of course, this is just me speculating. This could absolutely be wrong. And I have no reason to believe that. I'm just taking a guess. If I'm Silent the Prophet, that's me making a guess. One thing I don't have to guess about being good, though, is this Atlas. Look at this beauty. Maxed out on health, attack speed, and attack damage. Nearly maxed out on Omega power. Just missing a little bit of resistances, but still having plus 30% resistances as well. This is a good, awesome little guy. I am being spoiled right now here in this run. Okay, now with that one being caught, I'm starting to run low on energy, so I really want to make sure that I actually find and secure the flare. Where did it go? It's way up here. Let's skip the Hollow T-Ru, let's skip the TB Ruko. Maybe go for these 3 or those 2 up there. I have a way up there, I think, right? Oh, not quite. There we go. Alright, so the second tier 4 of this stage 1 run. Right around the corner, or rather right under me, it looks like. Right by this mushroom, or this mushroom, this tree, whatever you want to call it. Somewhere around here. Underground, potentially. Oh, no, that's a dead end. Let's see. Keep forgetting, is there a tunnel down this way? Sometimes I just go too fast for my own good, and I end up just getting myself lost. What I seem to have done here once again. Slow down just a moment here. Okay, so if that doesn't actually get me anywhere... This is the one I went down and I got trapped. This little flare is trolling me, apparently. Yeah, because I would have been right next to it. Definitely a little unlucky. It would not be a silent stream if I did not get lost at Crimson Waste at least 7 times. I honestly hope so too, Sota. I would absolutely love to see some Leviathan. And, I mean, I've been rather vocal about it. I would absolutely love to see Leviathan become the staple, whether it be the Illuvium Pro League, or whether it be the main ranked mode. I would absolutely love to see Leviathan be the case, and I know that would hurt me. That would hurt me big time. But there's something special. I say it over and over again. I'll say it again. There's something special about being onto the battlefield with stuff that's actually yours. The ones that you caught. And that, I honestly do believe, is going to be the standout and difference maker compared to other auto battlers. I could not give a damn about what kind of jinx I happen to have, or what kind of Teemo I happen to be having in the shop, because that's not mine. It's some just random ass character from the League of Legends universe. But having my own character, having my own creatures, that's going to be the difference maker, and I honestly do think that's the way that things do need to make a turn for. And based off of what I heard from town halls and whatnot, I think there's a lot of people that share the same sentiment. Okay, this is actually ticking me off now. Where the heck? Let's just start from the obelisk and go from there. I'm just running around like a chicken with my head cut off right now. When in doubt, do over. See if we can find our way there. I always like to try and look like I know what I'm doing, flying around the overworld super fast. But then, especially trying to traverse Crimson Wastes, I just get lost. That's the Hollow Chuko, isn't it? Oh, let's lock this thing down. And since we're here, let's take a look at it, actually. Or bot as well. Yeah, 100%. let the option be there for those. I know personally, I lose interest once I purchase a creature. I did that back in the Ascension days. I bought myself a Wildfire team because I was getting impatient. Then I maybe played Ascension for like a week, and then I completely stopped playing, or Ascendant rather, not Ascension. But I bought my own Wildfire team, was playing Ascendant, and I stopped playing because they still didn't feel like they're mine. And that kind of ruins the experience for me, I'm not gonna lie. But that's for just me personally. I love having the option of being able to buy it, though. If you wanted to hop into Illuvium brand new and buy your team so you can be competitively fit right off the rip, you can, and I absolutely love that. I'm never going to knock somebody for doing that. I'm not going to give anybody a hard time about doing that. That's just not me. So Hollowed Out Chikoral is what we're looking at here. Has a couple friends here as well. Look at that Lesser Monk here. What the heck? Meanwhile, this Chikoral is actually kind of cheeks. And I have many of these. I might actually just go for this Lesser Monk here instead. And I have to be reserved. I still need to save one more catch for that flare. Try and use the common shard here on this little Lesser Monk here. It's just a little baby, so I would absolutely love to just be able to use a cheap shard on it. And it's going to be stubborn. I'll lock it down here with the tier 2 shard instead. A 3% chance to fail. Let's hope this goes well. There it is. Alright, good. Good. Lesser Monk here is here. Maxed out on movement speed, health, attack speed, and nearly attack damage and Omega Power, with a little bit of extra resistances here as well. Not too bad. Well, that's actually the perfect happy middle grounds there, Sota. That sure they've been bought, but it's been used with Illuvium rewards. No, that's actually a really good happy middle ground. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, because while it may not necessarily be you catching them, though, it was your effort that got you into the position to get those Illuvials. So yeah, that's still really, really good. I like that. Alright, the last one that we're looking for here in this run. I think I said it was underground. There should be a flare here somewhere. Somewhere within the wastes. In fact, we might have just found it. Stop it. Alright. There it is, our second tier 4 of the run. And it would be my third ever flare. Granted, of my flares, I think I have one that's okay. But I wouldn't necessarily call it competitively fit. Gonna definitely pick this up no matter what. I do like the flare skin set as well, so I want to make a skin out of it eventually. And let's see, we've got a couple of... Okay, this is about as easy as it can get in regards to an actual battle. These add-ons are literally going to do nothing. I need to save 45 per shot. And low key. Do I think that I can just take it out with 2? Like this. This would give me 3 shots at this flare. And based on the stats that I just saw, that actually looks pretty nice. That would be too much. So it would have to be like this. So have... I'll just maybe do it like this. just to be safe. That's one for resistances. Let's give you a floor ball. There we go. In theory, we can get 3 shots at this flare now. And just have Rip Lance not have a tank. Yeah, that was the right call. 3 shots now at trying to get this flare. And is Rip Lance going to get a level up? There we go. Perfect. Took like a week and a half, but we got a level. The Appons themselves are rather lackluster, but look at this flare. Max attack damage, max omega power. We'll take the max movement speed as well, and some pretty decent or almost perfect health, and some alright resistances and attack speed. All things considered, I would argue this guy is an absolute beauty. We have, it's 45 a pop, I've got 91, exactly 3 shots to get this. Nearly a 50% chance. I'm gonna stick to the tier 4 shard for at least these first 2. And the first time it is going to breach immediately. That is not a good sign. Try this again here with a tier 4 shard. I do not get very many tier 4 shards. I do not get, or I have even less tier 5s. I really don't want to have to blow a tier 5 shard if I don't have to. But with so much max stats, I definitely want this thing. It's gonna make me do it, isn't it? It's breaking out twice. If I do end up using the 5, it does bump it up big time. How much do I want this thing, though? I absolutely do. This is greedy. Some would say probably a waste, but I'm putting that tier 5 shard on there. Do not want to see this thing go. I can see it right next to my new Furiox, making a fantastic teammate, and we will lock it in. There we go. We got 2 tier 4s in the same stage 1 run, both of them having pretty decent stats as well. This beautiful little flare going to be joining the squad. Can't wait to start leveling it up. Yeah, I know it's not necessarily the most optimal when, I guess, over-sharding would be the term. Using a higher tier shard for a baby of the lower level or the lower tier. But at the end of the day, I treat it the same as using an Ultra Ball on a Magikarp. I just want to get the thing caught. I've got 1 shot here. If I could potentially find the right rock, that would be nice. Maybe try and replenish a shard or 2. Oh, scoop this up too while I can. Get some energy. Now I've got the chance for 3 rocks. Let's see. I'm going the wrong way. I need to be going the other way. Did I even pass any of the proper rock? Let me back it up here. Get out of dodge. Is there any las? There's one. Make that one. Nothing there. There's another one up here. Okay, gonna have to go fast to try and get this, but we can probably do it. As long as I don't completely butcher my pathing. Nope, that ain't it. Nope, I can see myself getting myself in trouble once again here. Let's just go back to this one. Yeah, let's secure the sure thing. There it is. Load up on that one. Who's shooting me? There you are. An uncommon shard, we'll gladly take that. Get the experience mushroom. Another experience mushroom. Snag you. And just see what else we have kind of close by and take the shots before we go. Gem. And one more for the armor piece, just in case I need it later. Let's get out of here. Alright, that was a pretty decent run, if I do say so myself. Do we try and snag one more? I don't think we necessarily have time if I'm trying to shoot this for an 11 o'clock transition. Let's see where we stand in a moment's time. Yes, that was probably one of the luckiest runs I've had in a long time in regards to a Stage 1 run, because every alluvial that we found in that run basically had fantastic stats. I could not complain at all with how that run went at all. And skin-wise, do I have anything I can make right now? I have a little bit too much, or I have like exactly everything, so I need extras still. So not quite yet. But then alluvial-wise, looks like they're all still getting sent in here. But the one beautiful thing, of course, that we did end up getting here today was the Furiox. So I can finally say we've got one caught. Check it off on the board. Still got a little bit to go in terms of tier 4s, and then a lot in regards to tier 5s. Heck, a lot. Excuse me, sneeze attack. But heck, a lot in regards to my lynxes as well. So in the overworld, I still have a lot to do, which, if anything, I'm rather happy about. So in this little bit of a downtime here for Illuvium, I've got a lot of collecting I could be doing. So it is still fun to me. I've still got so much to do. Malura and Gazatep still the only tier 3s that I'm missing here. Almost there. Will it let me see Furiox? For fire. There it is. Yes, this is the brand new Furiox that we just caught. My very, very first one. Loaded up on Omega Power. And I just absolutely love this thing. In fact, do I want to start leveling it up right now? I could potentially start trying to level it. Where's the little flare, too? Oh, I actually have 2 really decent flares now, then. One is a little bit tankier, and one is a little bit better on damage. Interesting. And I've got a Singe, but it's absolutely... This is what I was saying before. I did actually buy some alluvials, and Singe and Seer were ones that I did buy way back in the day. I really didn't know anything about stats back then, but thankfully I just bought them for as cheap as I possibly could. Furiox, do I want to bring you in right now? I think we will. Riley could take a break. We'll bring Furiox onto the team. You cost 67 or 65 though? Damn. That's actually quite a lot. Alright. I'm gonna quickly quit out here for just a moment just to get all rebooted. Next part of the day is going to be our Illuvium Arena runs. Been having quite the little run for myself in ranked as of late. I don't know if it's just constantly being in position to watch all of these Illuvium Pro League matches, but I feel like my mindset's definitely shifted a little bit. It's a little bit different compared to just slamming Lynxes every single game. I still slam Lynxes, don't get me wrong, but only when the time is right. I wanted to take a look at it actually right here in just a second. Yeah, because as I stand right now, I'm actually 57th currently in the world. But I don't know how exactly true that may be, because I see multiple unhappies in the leaderboard here. I'm not sure what's going on there. I know Unhappy Surah, that's the one that was in the IPL, that's the one we saw in the Grand Finals. But are these just a bunch of extra accounts? Or is Unhappy now a guild? That would be kind of funny. But either way, been doing pretty decently as of late. I take a look at my current match history. Want to kind of show off a little bit. I'm not used to being decent on the competitive side of things, so when I do, I have to kind of show it off at least a little. Take a look at it while I can, because I know it damn well isn't going to stay this way forever. But right now, I'm almost on the podium every single game. And then the ones that I'm not, I can remember, like, purely a mistake that, like, I screwed myself over with. Something like a bad weapon choice, or not paying attention when doing a roll down, going for something that was already contested that I didn't see. Which is something I am kind of prone to, unfortunately. I know even in the IPL cast earlier, I was saying, oh, if only someone had an Axon on their team, they would be in great shape. Simon, what are you talking about? They do have an Axon. Oh. Whoops. I'm blind. We're hopping on into Illuvium right here, right now. Play a game or two, maybe 3, depends on how fast this ends up going. Then, of course, we do have Illuvium 0 at the very, very end of the cast. Try and get some of those tier 4 biodata. Some of those final pieces that I'm looking for. Definitely, again, I know I say it all the time, but I'm not looking forward to upgrading all of these scanners up to level 5. If level 4 costs 120 Hyperion to do, I can only imagine it's like maybe 200 or something, maybe 160 to actually get it to tier 5s. And then I have to do that 4 times on every plot. And they're all tier 1s, so that's like a week of saving at least per scanner per plot. That'll take a while. However, I can take solace knowing that once it's done, unless all of a sudden we go full Rise of Kingdoms and just add on another tier on top of it, just for the sake of calling or adding an extra tier, making it stupid hard to grind to, and then calling it content. Let's not do that, please. But if I have all tier 5 scanners, then I'm set. I never have to upgrade them again. New sets come out, doesn't matter, I can just keep scanning right off the rip and I don't have to wait. That's the hope. And Soda said they were grinding the battle pass. They were pretty much right at the very end, it sounds like. But even in worst case scenario, still got 23 days. I do wonder what the plan will be once that battle pass is completed its course. Will there be another one right away? Or will the focus be elsewhere? That is the one thing that I'm very, very curious about, of course, because again, Illuvium's not the biggest team in the world, right? It's Still a very, very tight-knit one, and I imagine it maybe even getting even more tight-knit as things go on. But you have all of these games that need attention. What's going to happen with all this MMO focus? Does the arena miss out on something because we're focused on MMO, so to speak? Optimally, like this Battle Pass ends, there's another one ready and waiting, even if there's MMO stuff going on. But I can only imagine that it's a lot of work. Definitely, like, not trying to say that the team's lazy or anything. Don't spin my words. Because by all means, they're absolutely not. It's just a lot to keep track of. There's a lot of developers, a lot of teams out there that struggle just to keep one game going. And one, I think we're slowly but surely getting there, because with as it's standing right now, I am not used to having so many notifications on social media. I can tell we're definitely getting somewhere. Some of my stuff is actually starting to get watched on YouTube and other platforms, especially Instagram, oddly enough, is actually popping off a little bit. And I can tell I'm getting somewhere because I'm starting to get hate posts, and it's already... Hey, it is what it is. The amount of, oh, this guy's playing the fake games that they play in the movies, or what is this, Timu TFT, or this guy just yaps, so jibber jabber, what is he talking about, crying face. That's how we know we're getting there, because people are finding reasons to make fun of me. All I can say to those people is, thank you for the engagement. Alright, Halcyon Sea, I think, was the region that was selected, the one where we get extra credits every single round, regardless of the scenario, so beautiful. That's a lot of fleesh. Gladly accept all that fleesh. Let's see, in my lobby, Lynx PQP, oh god, CFGD, okay, Leg Spike, Tudor, Necroboy. Necroboy's been grinding a ton lately. Every time I play, I see them on. Boost Jake, and then Stefan Ben in this lobby. See how we can do. That is already another Fleesh. The Fleesh firing squad out here. What's the Lynx this game? Earth Nimble Lynx, eh? Okay, first and foremost, let's get this health augment into play. One thing, if I've learned one thing from IPL, it's getting either an emergency button or the restoration augment relatively quickly. Heck, maybe even stacking them. Do something like this. We're a level down, but I don't mind if we lose early. I do not mind taking the hit at all early on in these games. The Rogue going after the Lynx. The Untargetable going to be coming out here in just a second and help deal with that Valente. And no silence even came on out. This was basically a perfect fight here from the squad. And then weapon time here in just a second. Let's see it. Aqua Blaster has been given to me right off the rip, but I want to see what else is out there. The Bulwark, or Scion. Let's see. Lynx, a Scion. CFGD is waiting. I'm taking Aqua Blaster. What did CFGD end up taking? Ripple Flail? Okay. So we're going to be playing for some of the same waters, but a lot of the water alluvials that I'm going for, I don't need to get to tier or to stage 3. So it doesn't concern me too much, all things considered. And I already have what could potentially be my carry in a decent spot because I already have the Phase Breaker. Okay, energy on Omega, that could be interesting. Fire, no, we're gonna pass on. I think... energy cost on Omega, we're gonna give a try this time. There, get situated like this. Cling is one of those alluvials that I might want to snag. Extra little bit of tank line. But for this early portion, I'm basically just cruising. Not going to spend any more. I just want to eventually get to level 5. I want to be able to get my tank line kind of established. Maybe find an Axon. Maybe get Caradulo. And maybe be able to ride along here with Toxic Harbinger for this early to mid game. And the fact right now that I've not taken a single loss is actually extremely unusual. Normally, I take quite the beating, and by round 7, I'm down to maybe 80. So the fact that I've not lost yet is rather surprising. Okay. I've already got the 2 Scion. Maybe make the replacement here. Bring Totofi into the mix. Give you the Scion or the Omega Power Augment. And then just do something like this. There's CFGD. Has a lot of tank augments already onto that Axon. I think it's going to have enough firepower and enough sustain to be able to stop me in my tracks. Yeah, it's looking quite good for them. The win streak shall end. But thankfully this Halcyon Sea is not in regards to win streaks. If it was, I would have played that differently. But I'm content losing this one. Yeah, Walter Borg there for CFGD. Does have an Archie on the bench as well. Could potentially see some Aegis stuff coming out of there from them. Well on my way to finding my Exalted Fleece, apparently. Finding the Caribou is good as well. Start building that up. Now that I've hit max interest, I will level up to 5. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, of course, thanks to Halcyon Sea. And now we can roll a little bit for our alluvials. Let's get a tank. We got another tank potentially here. Let's see, bring one here. Do something like this for some 3 nature play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my bulwarks. Can I find some evolutions potentially? Found one for the Lynx, not the one I was looking for. But we'll get that moving here on the next level. Disruptive, we'll gladly accept. We can make a magic-based one as well. You'll make a power every couple seconds, I like that. And then I'll give my blue one over to one of my tanks here very, very shortly. Tank's doing a good job keeping the Lynx off me. If I had a little bit more extra focus and a little bit extra speed, having all of these augments on to push this fight even better would have been wise. But if we lose just a little bit, it is what it is. I'm not going to be too upset. But we actually win it out anyway. Just because 5 bulwarks so early here is pretty surprising. Still need an Aquilus, though. There's the one. Are you going to tempt me with lynxes? Of course you are. Okay, still have interest. Okay, let's get moving here. Still just got my tanks. I'll turn Flare into the makeshift carry. And go for something like this for now. Yeah, Necroboy always goes extremely quick in regards to leveling, so this does not surprise me. But this happens a lot as well with the way that I play. This is where I do take a little bit of a beating as well, more often than not, because I'm content sitting at level 5 for so long. Just need to evolve my tank line, and then I will start leveling again. Stefan having multiple lynxes, gonna slow down the potential of having that, but again, I just have these lynxes for essentially the sake of lynxes. If I happen to get it, that's great. If not, it's not the end of the world. This one is a huge pickup. Okay, let's get you on right away. We now do have the toxic portion, or the Harbinger portion of this squad is here. And let's see. Get rid of the Tatofi so that I have 70 credits again. Yeah, at least we do have the Harbinger. Optimally, I should have actually put my augments onto my Axon here. It could have gotten much more stronger use of everything. So I will lose this fight. Definitely need to focus a little bit elsewhere. To be honest, I'm not even sure why I picked up the Squiz. I might have been a little bit too anxious on that one. Let me pick up the Heady then, if that's the case. There we go. The focus is to specifically build up the tank line. Okay, resistance piercing we'll gladly accept. There's Heady. There's a Lynx. Okay, this makes things interesting. Guess let's level up a bit. Hello, beautiful. You are my carry now. See, I don't go for Lynx. Lynx goes for me. I'm not coping, I swear. Yeah. I think that's about as best as I can get it situated right now. Going up against Lynx, who is already a pretty high level, I think. That's a lot of units on the board. Already level 8. The one problem with my Lynx, though, other than the Omnivamp that it has from the yellow augment, it does not have anything else supporting it. So it does not get a whole heck of a lot in regards to sustain. But thankfully it is pretty naturally tanky. And it does not seem to be getting focused. I have a Lynx problem 100%, I will admit. Yes, 100% Zalith, 100%. But come on. How can I ignore such a beautiful beast? If that was just a regular old Scion, it wouldn't have done that. It wouldn't have won like that. Synergies? No. Lynxes? Yeah. Combat rhythm? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I think it might be time that I stop actually worrying about Kiradulo. In fact, maybe I just go like this for now. Don't sell it, because I'm going to end up needing it eventually. 'Tis the season. Okay, so CFGD's looking quite nice. Riptorus and a Fur Knight's already online. Yeah, if I sat here at level 6, I would be punished so badly. Who is my direct competition in terms of Rake? So it does look like Necroboy has a couple. Let's level. Strike Crate. The stacking variant, please. There's a dash. We'll gladly accept you. You can be my Lynx's dive buddy. And then because of synergies, actually, let's bring back Caribou. Get that 4th water on hand. Give you some Omega Power, little pupper. Now it's going for H's. Harbinger Mammoth. A Rake. Steam Harbinger. That was a good round. That was a very good round. I wonder, how obnoxious would this be? My Lynx dives in with the Rake, and then my Lynx has the untargetable, but then my Rake also has untargetable. In theory, they could trade aggro. At least once. Potentially. It sounds obnoxious just thinking about it. The Crashing Bastion as well. Potentially. So it's the 4 closest allies near my ranger at the start. Okay, that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, everybody, hold the line for me. Valera, kind of hold the center. Break, you get some. You get some. Ranger, Lynx, Break. Shields that explode. Let's see how this thing goes. Yeah, we're still going to be leveled down, but just the pure firepower that we have here with this team, because we took it so slow early, should be rather nasty. Eventually, I think I just swap out Caribou for Scarabok, and we're honestly in like a very strong scenario. Here is a Twine. Maybe go replace Groko. Do I have any other empath, really? No, not really. It wouldn't make any sense. Okay, come on down. Let's get Ranger boosted up now that we have Mammoth. Let's get you to be a part of that 3-pack with the shield from the Crashing Bastion. And now that we're here at level 8, this is when we can kind of start to slow roll on our Rake. Because who's the other one that has it right now? Because there's me up near the top. It's Necroboy that has it. How many do they have? It looks like we're going to lose this one, but that's fine. They don't have any. Okay. I don't think my... I wish I actually would have paid more attention there. CFGD just actually just wrecked me there. Shoot. Got a little overconfident. I'll take the beating there. Trying to breach that a little bit later can be problematic. Necroboy, they're the one that I'm focused on here because they have my Rakes. They are getting beaten up a little bit. They could have Vanguard going, but they don't. CFGD just found Rip Lance as well. Yikes. Okay, there's one dash. There's Scarabok. You can replace Caribou. I know I'm getting rid of a buff to water, but that's alright for this instance. And I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep myself at a high percent, or high interest, and just keep the ball rolling. Okay, please burst down this Caradulo. There we go. Rogues are where they need to be. Scarabok stuns are where they need to be as well. I think enough steam procs have happened to where we can take down this Stabbin quite nicely. Lynx is still here too. And there we go. Sell the one Caribou. Start building my Mammoth. There's another Mammoth. Alfie would be the cherry on top here with this composition. There's one more dash. Necroboy is one more loss away from being knocked out, which opens the door wide open. And then the only reason that I'm still rolling, even though I know they have some, is because they didn't have any of them on their bench. So it's like, okay, it's great you took 3 of them, but there's still so many more in the pool. Nobody else actually is going for an Umber in this instance. So my chances for finding it is still not too bad. Teams that I need to worry about here, though. So with Rip Lance being here, I know I'm going to need to lock it down. So I rarely ever get this, but I'm going to get the stun. I need to shoot and stun that Rip Lance when it comes on through. The Scion print here as well makes things interesting. Let's give that to the Lynx, actually. Let's tank up our Mammoth with the HP resistances. Let's get this as well. Energy regen into Omega Power. And of course, this is actually the person I need to take down. If I can get the kill shot here onto Necroboy. Those rakes do end up showing up onto the table. They have none, so I can keep going. Dash, dash, Alfie. Mammoth, dash. Zicoprico, hello, hello. Doing quite well, how are you? I'm not going to be able to stop Necroboy, it looks like here in this instance. I might have just kind of thrown my rogues to the wolves. Or to the penguin in this instance. Would love to get the Sinolf on board. Is there anything that I could trade to really do that? Attack speed, I mean, that would be nice. Regen, no. I think it's just attack speed, right? Might have to be. Let's get this augment onto my Lynx for now. Can we finish the Umber? We absolutely can. And now, at this point here, I gotta stop being silly. I gotta stop being greedy. Lynx, you've done exactly what you've needed to do. I thank you for your service. But now, it's time. Change things up a little bit. I'm gonna end up throwing my Umber again directly into the gauntlet, but it is gonna go directly towards that Furiox, which is actually a rogue, so interesting. A Mammoth, Mammoth, Alfie, and Lynx, thank you again for your service. Mamu will be here in the next round. Tutor is gone. And that is now going to be my 3rd Harbinger online here. It was absolutely an amazing finals yesterday. I love the checkmate format so much, so much. And the fact that we had 6 of the 8 players all within striking distance of actually taking that tournament was incredible to see. I absolutely loved every bit of it. Now, in terms of what now, I mentioned to the squad a little bit earlier, but unfortunately, like, I'm not actually an Illuvium staff member. So your guess is as good as mine, unfortunately. I don't know what's going to be happening for the next little while. But yeah, we could have a little bit of a quiet season. For me, that doesn't change anything. I'm still going to be here, I'm still going to be streaming, I'm still going to be strictly covering Illuvium. I'm not jumping ship, I'm not changing my focus. But in terms of announcements, it might be quiet. We might have something sometime down the road. All I know is that there's a town hall, I think, happening next week. Otherwise, everything is still completely unknown, to say the least. That's quite the shunt there from the Mammoth. Beautifully done. This dastardly little penguin, as usual. Oh, good save, Ranger! Oh, the Ranger sniping that Joe Gold might have just saved me that round. Oh, yeah. I would have loved to have seen Slicks win the tournament, but yeah, at Game 4, I did not want it to be cut short either. It wouldn't have felt anticlimactic, but there just would have been so much more I wish we could have gotten. But yeah, getting 6 games, that's pretty cool. I like that. CFGD. That is a scary squad. A very, very scary squad. How do I wish to break it? Let's see. A wise choice to clump up. A very wise choice to clump up. Let me go after your Riplance, maybe. One-on-one to start things off. As long as Umber doesn't get focused by something else. No, we very well might. Yeah, it does end up falling. I mean, Riplance fell too, but I've lost a lot of my damage. I still do have Sinolf, though. But I don't think it's got the firepower just yet to truly crack this. Not quite there just yet. Flare, welcome. Potentially. So the problem here... What do you have, Lynx? Oh, you don't have any others on the board. So Sinolf going to Dual F, I think, is 100% the move that I need to find to be able to keep myself in this fight. But I think there's also something additional that can be done here. Energy crate, shield, just in case I have to go up against another Sinolf. You are exactly what I'm looking for, actually. Hang on. Oh, come on. Don't troll me, Mammoth. Mammoth is absolutely trolling me right now. And I just rolled on top of the thing that I needed. 10. Of course, I'm unfocused. Did not get what I wanted to do. And I left augments on the board. Shoot! We'll see. Maybe we can get through this one. Maybe Sinolf can still get the job done here. I threw myself off once the Mammoth kind of trolled me. Big stun! Oh, look at that damage! We might have just been saved by Mammoth. Maybe. If we're lucky. Come on. One more try. Never punished. No, I know, you had quite the run going for yourself there too, Zika Perico. Heartbreaking too with the disconnects, absolutely. Let's try this again. Health augments. Just do this. Let's give it more to Mammoth. Here. Let's just make it so it gives raw damage. Why don't we? Spread out a little bit. I do need you to spread out a little bit. Make them walk into you. And then the icing on the cake to get up to 5 Scion. Squeeze. Come play, buddy. 3 Steam. Dualef is here. I'm kicking myself a little bit because I'd argue I have a better option waiting for me right now on the bench. Or in the shop, rather. But Dualef might be able to get me there. Umber's not going to be able to. Mammoth, come on, buddy. The good cast. One more time, Ranger, Ranger, come on, buddy. Stun, stun, stun! No! Ay, ay, ay. That was close. Very, very close. No, fair enough. Lynx and CFGD, very, very great players, so don't mind losing to them. What I'm kicking myself for is I actually should have sold the Squiz, bought the Fury that was on in the shop, put that in instead, link it to my Ranger, turn myself into Invoker, let Dualef go nuts, while still having Steam. Ah! That was very, very close. Good games. I definitely got saved around there by the Mammoth. I arguably should have probably been out maybe a round or 2 earlier. Well, that was fun, though. The only thing, Mammoth is trolling me a little bit there. I'm trying to swap augments, but the Mammoth is so thick that I couldn't move my augments without moving the Mammoth. Like, geez, I don't know how you players end up doing this. I'm just playing this, like, just standard ranked mode. And I'm shaking. Mammoth covers half the board. Yeah, pretty much. It saves my bacon a lot, though. I know I had a pretty fantastic game there with Sota yesterday, where Mammoth and my Ranger were completely on point and in sync with each other. I had the Emberling Rod, and pretty much every time that the Mammoth threw Illuvial into a group, the Ranger happened to fire off the Emberling Rod at that exact target, so it was easily getting 3-4 Illuvials in every single shot. Mammoth is easily, like, I don't care what team composition I'm building, I would love to have a Mammoth. Might not be a bad idea to actually... Do I even have one? Let me check my sheet. Yeah, I only have a baby Mamu. I don't even have a Matu or a Mama in my actual collection. So that's something I absolutely need to pick up for myself. Because, again, RPG-wise or MMO-wise, I always play support. And heck, tanking is sometimes some support. And then being able to maybe shove things around would be a huge ability to have. Zico, you did actually snipe me, eh? Alright, good luck, have fun, mate. Alright, so the plan this game is to go Verdant Vanguard. I never play rogues, but I would absolutely love to be able to play this 100%. Maybe fighters or something along those lines. I'm just kidding. You know I'm not playing rogues. Okay, set up quite nicely so far. Already having the Destructiforce reactor is quite nice. I just love the snowballing attack speed on this thing. Just a very, very consistent and safe augment. Getting the health one as well sets me up quite nicely. And the emergency button is there. Would love to see it. Baby Lynx. You come join the fight here as well. Sync up here for the attack speed. Do something along these lines. Really get us started here. And then the actual, Lynx check. Let's see, Nature Scion Lynx, eh? I don't mind if I do. I have a hollowed out one that would love to come play right now. Say kill off that Atipo before using your Omega. Beautifully done there from the Lynx. Might still lose this. I'm not sure who wins between a Grucko and a Fleesh. Especially since the Grucko does have its stun available. Yeah, we're gonna end up losing this one. But given that we were leveled down anyway, not bad. Alright. Weapon check. I mean, the Vinebound Cleaver is actually here. And Floki actually took it, so that's something to keep in mind. Zico, what did you do? Of course, you're waiting, aren't you? I see you waiting. Okay, he's going rogue. Alright. Of the weapons that I did have access to, I'm not going to complain too much about the Ember Buckler. Both of the teams that I would build with this weapon do not actually seem to be too heavily contested. Just have to survive for a little bit. Can anybody else even match what I'm really going for? I don't think so. Nobody's gone Empath, nobody's gone Bulwark, so I'm basically free to just do Aegis. So of course, right down my alley. Still going to play this very, very similarly, though. I don't want to rush. I don't want to get too excited. There is many times, heck, even in the IPL, I've seen people get too excited when they're completely uncontested. They start rolling, thinking that they could start rolling the lobby, and then they get punished. The shop doesn't give them the rolls that they're looking for, and they end up falling, even though they were completely uncontested. A little bit of a micro-optimization. I should have had this Atlas in here to at least get myself that third Bulwark. That silent be yapping, so silent be flubbing. But in theory, the rogues should beat me up for a while. That's fair. Okay. A little bit more frontline potential here. Okay. Use the Dark Hollow one, because Dark Hollow. Alright, everybody pile on. Don't have enough for that 5th Bulwark yet, and I don't care about linking my Ranger yet really either. That is a-okay. In fact, my Ranger couldn't really get into the fight was a little bit of a frustrating moment, but it's there now. Lynx is now untargetable. Atlas is going to go back it up. See if we can knock out the Doka. There we go. Makes or breaks is how quickly this Lynx gets targeted. It's not going to actually get targeted. And that's exactly what we needed. Doka. Appropriate that Doka clock is supercharging their Doka. That is right on brand. Let me sell mine so you can supercharge yours. I want to see it. Alright, Archie is here. Part 1 of what I'm looking for. spread out my tanks maybe just ever so slightly more, I think. Scoop this up. What are we getting? HP? Okay, I like that. Let's just go for the max HP here in this instance. I'm going to give it to the Lynx for now. That will 100% switch later. And then I am going to spread my tanks out just a little bit more. Just do something like this for the time being. This is up against Zico Perico. They do have that one, this thing here, Restorating Impact Reactor. God forbid they start stacking those. We've seen what kind of damage that can do in IPLs. It's so weird, because by itself, like, it's okay, it's a fine augment, but when people start stacking it, that's when it truly becomes a problem. Yeah, Zico is going to absolutely destroy me. I think they had... Well, oh no, they're at the same level. They just have that much more firepower, right? Nice little. I'm thinking with the amount of Illuvials they still had on the board that they were a level up, but no. It was just that strong of a squad, as we do get a couple of our evolutions here in this one. Because we now have Axon, move you over. Fleesh, come play for a minute. Let's give ourselves Harbinger. Lynx is now here as well. So I've got my tanks, I'm rather happy. I can slowly start crawling towards level 6. Good shot from the Lynx. That was a lot of damage, but it just has no real follow-up right now. Even the little baby baby Slappin's gonna be able to take me out right now. Get a few off the board at least. Harbinger's trying to clean things up. At least gonna get one more off the board. Reduce the damage taken just a little bit. Okay. We'll take the Lynx because it's there. And I will still be patient. I know I could level up and get another one, but I'm okay losing the HP. I can do, though. In theory, this is my shot right across the center line, right towards that Ranger. Lynx, give me the shot that I'm looking for. Right across the back line. Beautiful shot. The Slappin', though, is going to distract my Lynx for quite a while. I still don't have that 5th bulwark. There's not going to be any damage coming out here from my bulwarks. Not yet, anyway. We can burst down this Riptorus. We may have a chance, but that's a big shield. Good shield. That'll keep them alive. Relatively close fight, though. Okay. Just to see what we do end up getting. Yeah, I'm not switching. Okay. Thorns, potentially. Stun increase. HP, and okay. Yeah, let's go for that. We do have our Aegis now. So Harbinger was fun, but it is Aegis time. So this gives us Wildfire Aegis. And the play depends on where they're positioned so far. Have I been rocking a solo or a low-level Flish when I've had the level 2 this entire time? Yikes. Here, we're gonna buff up that Lynx to start us off here. And we're just going to pivot around our Archos based off of the kind of shot we need. Archo's doing a fantastic job of tanking there. Very nice. Level down does not matter. Okay. Health is Omega Power. Not a bad idea. And not necessarily what I'm going for. Attack speed over time. Not a bad idea. Getting the Toxic imprint is a little lack to be desired, but we'll make do. There is our level. Scarabok, you can join, and that will give us our 5th Bulwark. There we are. Still need to replace the Grocko, I think, though. Piece of magic damage. We'll gladly accept that. Maybe I could throw that onto the links here in a minute. This is a support crate. Let's do this buff instead. Heady, that's what I'm looking for. You can replace that one. 2 squizzes. I am not ready for squizzes, I don't think. But at the same time, could definitely replace that flish. Do something like this. Energy regen into Omega Power. Let's try that out. Let's give you this buff. Move yous up front just a little bit more. Squiz, come join down here. Something along these lines. Could potentially go for Fury with this. I think I'd honestly probably rather that compared to Squiz right now. Can we clean this one up? Actually, yeah, it looks like it's pretty good. Not bad, not bad. I'm probably going to end up losing a interest point because of it, but I'll hang on. Evasive momentum, no thank you. No thank you. Sure, why not? Blair is here. Do I have something I want to swap out? Not really. What I'm looking for specifically is Hitty and Crunk, but I mean, I'll take Squiz if you're going to just fall into my lap. Okay. Let's protect the heck out of Squiz and try to do this. I know it's not necessarily the best user of it. And then this way we can put links all the way into the corner. The first shot's going to be a bit of a nothing burger, but the second one should be good. Yeah, there we go. It's going to go towards that gorilla now. Get it on. Oh, crap. Nope, not going to quite work out. Gonna have to rely on Squiz, which is, of course, not the most optimal target here for Scion buff. Or not Scion buffs, but for, whatchamacallit? Aegis buffs. We'll end up falling here. Zika Brika, what happened? You were at the top of this lobby at one point. Oh, you're trying Slayer? Jeez. Risque, but I like it. Hopefully it starts coming around here for you. A Scarabok into Goliath. I'm happy to see that. How many Crunks are there right now? It's just lagging? That's it? So the fact that I haven't hit is just annoying. Okay. No, you need to be kind of like here. Bang, 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 bang. Something like that is what I'm thinking. Let's power up this Lynx one more time. Give it some attack speed. See if it could truly make use of the augments it currently has. Yes, I'm going to kind of sack my Octius in this instance, but the shot here from this Lynx could hopefully turn us around. Good shot there from the Archos. One more big heal. But the Riley actually is looking really, really troublesome right now. One more shot from the Lynx. Only gonna just go to the Riley. Yep. We'll eat that one. Clean up my board. Come on, Hetty, where you at? I mean, I'll take the Furiox. That's my insta-switch. I don't have the time to truly do the setup that I want. Something like that. Blinks, thank you for your service, but I'm looking for something in particular. And I'm not finding it at all here. I'm going to go down to 60. I shouldn't have passed on those flares. Bugger. Yeah, Furiox is doing some pretty decent damage, but it's going to run out of time here in just a moment. Huh? At least it was just the one. Zico and I both down at the bottom here. Oof. How many other... There is none. Okay. I feel like I have the right idea, just need to actually find what I'm looking for. Let's scoop up these rogues, get the credits alongside with it, and let's see if we can maybe turn this game around. It's a bit of a rough one. Haven't dropped out of the top 4 in many games, so I would definitely hate for this to be the combo breaker. But it has to come eventually. The thorns, damage reduction, stun. Stun, let's do stun. Okay. 1, 2, go to you. Scion here, bang, bang. Do something like this. Let's get a change up here, get our 3 fire on board. No shot I find Scoriox before I find Hetty, right? Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, get impatient. I'm definitely impatient. Stay at 40. We're 1 away here from the Scoriox. I accidentally hit that button. Whoops. There, Wildfire Aegis is now online. The wildfire aspect of this definitely took a long time to get to. Where am I standing in terms of everybody else? I mean, I'm kind of near the middle of the pack. Not in the best position, but I could be worse. Did not see where my Furiox went. It is basically in the front lines here. That's not what I want to see, but so far, the Octius is doing okay. Untargetable, going to keep Furiox alive, and alright. A little bit of positivity here. We're not done. Not yet. Additional Borg, additional attack speed is quite nice. Damage amp's not a bad idea either. General attack speed or the... I think we just go for the attack speed. Do we have anything really to buff it though? I'm not sure. We'll try attack speed. We do find Scoriox. Took a break from YouTube to come join me here on the bench, or on the squad. Let me make a cheeky, quick move. Quickly gonna scoop up the Tatofi, because I was not paying attention to the fact that Sinolf is ready, locked, and loaded right in front of me, so I'll sack that Tatofi to hopefully kill off this front line ahead of time. This second shot's going to hurt, but look at this. I have the numbers game here. I should be able to move out of the way in time. Yeah. Mitigating that very first shot definitely saved me there. So with Scoriox here, and of course there's Arcanite. Thank you, Tatofi. Need to find one more flare if possible. There's another Blotto. Do not like rolling as much as I am right now, but I kind of feel like I have to. Well, actually, it's the person I'm up against that I need to worry about, eh? Instead, because that is a rake, let's switch this up. Let's go Colossus instead. Or not Colossus, but go for Magma instead of Wildfire. Give my guys in the back there a little bit of extra tank going up against this rake. While also maybe torching some of these Illuvials that want to get up close and personal with me here. Yeah, with how chaotic and how scatterbrained I am right now playing this game currently, scrapping for a top 4 is probably the most realistic. Obviously, I'm going to do my damnedest to go better than that. But definitely between the roles and the economy management, I've definitely been a little bit off. But with lagging being gone, we could maybe, first off, find the flare. That's nice. Can we find more heady? One more heady. We do find it. Okay. We have Magma naturally now. Let's go back to Wildfire Aegis. Do something like this. Optimally, I am buffing the hell out of this Scoriox. Let's see if it'll work. I do trap my Ranger in this process. I might have to move them around a little bit next time, but it's at least holding them away from the Scoriox. This isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst either. We're gonna be able to hang in there. Sorry, Zico Perico. So I've got the Illuvials that I want, but I am so broke it's not even funny. I mean, an NPC round is exactly what I'd be looking for. Nice timing there. Okay, so bang, bang, something like this, potentially. Oh, that'd be touching, wouldn't it? Maybe it's enough. I'll have to readjust that here in a second. Optimally, I'm trying to get everything into Scoriox. But it needs to be touching it, it needs to be the closest as well. Restorating, better late than never, I'll gladly accept. Physical damage and piercing. I like that idea. Let's just give Toxic to Blotto, actually. Give you heals, give you piercing. This is Doka Cloak. The Doka is no longer on the team, but of course they do have that Riley. Trying to micromanage this as best as I can. Get that in line. Tatofi will get replaced by Ebe. I need the Magma a little bit closer to the rest of the squad, so something like this. Messy, but it might work. The Scoriox is literally hitting like a truck, and this is exactly what I want. I've also gotten my Blotto to a point where hopefully between the Toxic buff, the Wildfire, and the Restorating Impact Reactor, that it should be an unkillable tank. I could even move over my health augment from my Goliath over to Blotto. I think that's actually the next step in this one. And my gosh, we did actually make ourselves into a top 4 position. Scrappy, but I mean, we got it. Floki, Zico Perico, and I are the top 3, huh? Alright. So the unkillable Blotto is going to be the name of the game, but I need it to be somewhat close. Magma on through. I will not and cannot die just yet in this current position. I think this is a small enough gap that they could jump in there. The one thing Floki, I think, does not realize, are they going to be able to do it? They're not going to. I do think that Ranger could have probably squeaked in on that left side. Thankfully, they did not see it. They are going to have all of their alluvials jumping directly into my magma pit. Good damage coming out here from the ramp fights, but it's not enough to kill off most of this front line. Blotto is very low, but we do take out Penguin. And we will be able to kind of burn on through, it looks like, even through the links. Zicoprico did end up falling, and I did just beat Floki, so we're actually not in a bad spot right now. What is the endgame add-on that I need to finish the job here? I don't need to go yet, but I need to figure out the game plan. The fact that I do have to play Floki again, if they happen to be watching the stream, they will know the exact way to destroy me right now. But I'm gonna be patient. Gonna try and maximize my credits here. They can't kill me yet, so I'm going to hang on. Okay, only the little coral is in the middle, so that blind is going to be annoying. It doesn't actually even get it off, so that worked out quite nicely. Lynx couldn't get a good shot. The Rampite couldn't get a good shot, but the Penguin is still very, very alive and well until my Scoriox actually just turned on it and burned on it, so there we go. Airball coming out here from the Rampite. Looking good, get the Lynx, the damage is gone. And somehow, from what seems like an absolute scrappy mess, we are going to get the W here. Wildfire Magma Aegis getting the job done. And that, again, is why I love Aegis so much. Being able to be flexible, get Magma when you need it, get Wildfire when you need it, eventually combine it into one. There we go. GG Zicoprico. For going Slayer, you did very, very well. I hardly ever see people go Slayer, but that looked pretty fun still. That would happen to many Rake players. How many? See, Deno had 2. Preload, or Poppy had 1 as well. Yeah, that would have slowed things down. Oh, CTV Loki had it as well. Oh, that would have been the finishing blow too. That would have been devastating. Damn. Oh, that's definitely would have been cool. But yeah, that's a problem with Umber being such a popular alluvial, right? If anybody's watched like any IPL, they'll know that's like, oh yeah, Umber, go for Umber. This, I see this thing in the highlights all the time. This is your carry, right? And I was gonna say, I feel like we don't see Slayers that much for a reason as well. Unfortunately, there, as much as I love Gyro and Umber at the same time. It'd be so cool. But hey, you got 3rd with it. Even if it was incomplete, so nicely done. But with that, of course, it is now noon my time. It's time for the Illuvium 0 cooldown lap. Monarch was going pretty crazy. That would be pretty cool. I wish I could have got a better chance to see it. Wanted to see Force Slayer. That would absolutely be nuts. Okay, so game plan here for Illuvium 0 is still mainly the tier 4 scan, or tier 4 biodata hunting. I am now 4 away. I need, double check, I need the Umber. I need a Blazonite, I need Seer, and a Jokul. If I could find any of those 4 here today, this would be a massive success. If not, that's alright as well. Just means we have to wait till the next time by for our next chance. Alright, we've got 5 loaded up scanners here for today. Let's go through. Nothing. That is just an unfortunate one. But to be fair, I'm also completely full on data here on this site. I would have had to throw something away. And knowing my luck, it probably would have just been the Kuka that I got rid of yesterday. So, need to save up some Solon here to get my next data bank upgrade. For this plot, we have 4, and I have number 5 getting worked on over there in the corner. We'll almost be ready, but for the time being, let's take a look. Can we find ourselves a tier 4? Jokel! There we go! That's one of them we were looking for. Success here today on the Illuvium Zero plots. Let's take that right here. Jokel. That's a check mark. 3 more to go. And we got one more scan here as well. Not going to find anything on that one, but that's a-okay. This is already a success to me. Very, very incredible day here across all games with Illuvium. Happy day. This one just finished, so I'm going to set the scanner off, but I have 3 here on Shard Bluff. Let's get our fuel. Let's not forget that, why don't we? My fuel's converting as well. Okay. Is there anything else I can collect right now? Just a couple of converters. Thankfully, for the most part, I've always been maxed out on the non-fuel-based resources, so I can keep doing what I need to do. But in regards to these 3, can we find ourselves a tier 4? Not this time, but that's okay. That's it for our scanners. We do have some research happening over here at Taiga Boreal, though. And I've got a lot of passive fuel ready to get scooped up, so I'll gladly pick that up real quick. And then for this one, we're basically trying to get suit and drone combos. I'm 1 away for a couple of these. TNT, you can see here, I'm trying to get both. Let's see, do we find any blueprints here today? We do manage to get the TNT's box skin. So, let's hop on over. Flashbang warning, here we go. Right back to the spreadsheet. It's a blueprint. TNT box is here. I'll check that off right by my head. That's where it was at. So we'll secured that one. We just need the suit now here for TNT. And it will be a completed combo. Lets me cancel that one so I know that it's already done. The suit, not going to happen today. Revo, not going to happen today. Nor is the Grilla. So with 1 more slot available for research, what can I add there? I have Revo going. I don't have a gyro on this plot. I don't have any of the other Grillas. Don't have a Kiradulux on this one. My scanning has been a little bit lackluster here on this plot. I don't have as much to pick from. Greater Monk here, is there anything I can get from that? No, I've got that comboed already. Let's see, do I just maybe double up on a certain skin to just try and finish it? Maybe we do that. We can double up on the TNT armor. Do it that way. Yeah, that works. Passive fuel from that too. I still need to work on my storages here for this plot in particular. Like, all my scanners are stuck at round or level 3 because it takes 14 million of this silicon to actually level up, and the max I can hold is 12, so I need to get this upgraded. In fact, I could probably get it started now. This would be what I need to do. Let's get that started. Got everything that I want going. Let's convert 1 more set. And maybe send just 1 scanner off. Just slowly but surely try to pick at some of these biodatas. But that's it in regards to the research and the scanners. Now it's just a matter of collecting my fuel. Of course, had a little bit of a change in mindset for how I've been handling my fuel. I used to essentially just burn this as soon as I got it. But upon hearing that it's actually wiser to hold on to it right now because RevDiz is not actually a thing right now, just save it up. So I'm just going to try and fill up my storages, my fuel storages, not just so I could dump it eventually when eventually Rev Diz becomes a thing. But for when, say, training gyms and other Illuvium Zero buildings or upgrades happen to eventually come into the game, this way I'll know I'll have all the fuel necessary to get whatever upgrades and whatever buildings I would like. And then maybe I can just slow burn with my fuel once I have it completely filled up. That's how I see it for the time being. Am I missing any of my spots? I don't think so. I did want to, I think, upgrade one of these. I should have waited to collect before doing this, but it's okay. We get abundance of fuel on this plot anyway. I am still trying to get my very, very first blueprint out of this one. Not quite going to be able to get it yet, not today. It has been many, many weeks, I think like 3 weeks, of trying to just get 2 research labs to get me any sort of Archie skin. Any sort of blueprints. I've just not been lucky, which is again so heartbreaking considering we got the actual biodata for Archie right on the first scan. It looked like we were going to be flying through this, a little bit of a speedrun style. But didn't end up happening. And this one is actually in a good spot. Let's get one more conversion here that can upgrade as Quantum Fabricant. This way I can start setting up to level up my Hyperion Extractor once again. I am going to need more Krypton, so I'm going to just keep that scanner running. Dedicate all of my fuel production towards that. In particular, scoop up my resources, because this one is kind of low. And then this is just one of those. Get this for the score. And clean up maybe a couple of these plants with my extra builder. But with that, that will close things out here for today. Big thank you for everybody for tuning on in here and chatting with me, hanging out. We had a very, very successful day, if I do say so myself. Our Overworld run, able to find 2 tier 4s, catching them both, getting a Flare and a Furiox, both with rather decent stats, if I do say so myself, so I'm very happy to have been able to catch those. Then 2 very, very good arena games, got I think a 3rd in the first one, and then a 1st in the second after really fighting for my life in there. Did not get to play the kind of play style that, or I got to play the play style I wanted to, but I had to roll way more than I was comfortable with. Was absolutely broke, but we still managed to get a 1st place. Then we did manage to get the Jokel as well, the biodata for it, which means that we are now 3 biodatas away here of those tier 4s. We just need Seer, Blazonite, and Umber, and that is all tier 4 biodatas collected. We then get to go finish things off with the tier 5s. We are so close. I cannot wait to have a full collection of Illuvial biodata. We are right there. And honestly, even when we get to the tier 5s, I mean, I could show you actually right here, right now, we're not that far away. Already got about half of them. Still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And that isn't too bad. I'm actually very, very excited. And I think we can maybe get that relatively quickly. So, very, very pleased with the progression that we've been able to make today. And of course, we will continue this on Wednesday. While the Illuvium Pro League may be over, while there may not necessarily be any exciting and new announcements right now here for Illuvium, that is a-okay. Like I was saying before, I'm sticking around. It's still specifically going to be Illuvium here on the channel. I'm not pivoting to anything different. I have a collection to finish in multiple different ways, and heck, with how things are going, maybe next time there's a competition, maybe I won't be the caster. Maybe I'll be taking the whole damn thing. We'll have to see. Maybe I'm feeling myself. Maybe there might be something to it. We'll have to see how things end up going. But I had an absolute fantastic and great time. If you have not done so already and want to come hang out once again, whether it be following or subscribing, depending on which source or which platform you happen to be using, definitely recommend doing so. We'll be back at it again Wednesday, same time, with a relatively similar schedule, unless any sort of announcement does come out from Illuvium that requires our immediate attention. That'd be the only way that things really get switched up. But otherwise, you'll get your usual mix of Overworld, Arena, and Illuvium Zero action. But with that being said, it's time to go clip some IPL stuff. We had a fantastic grand finals just yesterday, and we need to get those highlights all clipped up for the Illuvium's channels. So I'll be getting back to work there in a couple minutes, and I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in.